Hi guys, someone asked me to do a video on my rose hip lip love. It's so great for the lips. Let's see if I can move you down here a little bit, like this. There. So rose hips are loaded with vitamin C. So applying the vitamin C to the skin topical, the skin accepts it and it loves it. And it replenishes the skin. So I make a rose hip serum that people love. I sell out of it all the time. And the rose hip serum is just rose hips and grapeseed oil done in the 420 infusion machine. You can do it in your butter maker. If you don't have any of these machines, don't fret, don't worry about it. Just do it in a blender. Heat your oil up, not to a boil, but heat it up pretty good, and put it in the blender and put your rose hips in and blend it, and just keep blending it while it's hot for like an hour. Turn it off and on for an hour, and then you'll have an infused oil, and you strain it and let it rest, I say, for a day, so everything settles. Even though you strained it, it's still going to have a lot of things that settle in the bottom. So you'll strain it, and then you'll let it sit and rest for a night, and then you'll strain it again, and you'll get a beautiful clear oil. So always use dry herbs when you're working with an oil. Otherwise it could go bad and your oil will go cloudy. So we're making the rose hip lip love. So these aren't my rose hips because I ran out. These are rose hips. These are from Siberia, actually. Siberian rose hips. I like them, but they're not like my rose hips. And rose hips are out now. I'm just waiting for them to be ready. It'll be like a month or so before they're ready. And my rose hip that I get them by the ocean, so they're huge, they're gigantic. Like, these are really small. My rose hips are like that. They're like the size of a tomato, a small tomato, by the ocean. They're beautiful. And they make a really, really red oil. Like, this is the oil, the rose hip oil, done with these rose hips that I bought because mine are all gone, but I'll get new ones soon. This is my rose hip oil from my roses from the ocean. Look at the difference in color in these two. Quite the difference. So the rose hips by the ocean are just, it's a redder serum. It's beautiful. So I'm saving this actually because I'm making something else with it, so I'm going to set that aside. So you get your rose hip oil. You just put roses into your 420 machine or else your blender, hot oil. Use grapeseed oil because it's wonderful for the skin. Load it with vitamin C also and vitamin E. So use that topical. So now we have, what did I have here? Half a cup of beeswax. I'm just making a few little lip balms. So you don't have to do this. You can just put it in a little jar and apply it with your finger. But if you have these are really cool. So you just stick, there's the little thing that the rose hip lip love's going to go in, the little tube. And you just make sure you look inside that it's turned all the way down. So all of my oil is going to, or my salve, sorry, my rose hip lip love is going to pour into here and it's going to set. And then as you want it, you turn it and it'll go up. So just make sure it's all the way down. You can see all the way in there. So you just pop them on the back like that. Pop them in the back. You just pop right in and just set that like this and then just pour it in. There's little caps that go on them, little lip balms. But that's not necessary. You can just put it in a little container and apply it with your finger. So we get half a cup of beeswax. We get a stir. And I'm just going to start pouring my oil. I'm probably going to go a cup, maybe a little bit more. Let's see what we got there. So that's half a cup beeswax, half a cup of oil. And I'm going to add some of this because I do need this in it. It's so beautiful. I can't wait to get my rose hips. I'm just going to check the consistency and how I do that. I want to make sure that it's thinner than a salve. because I want it to be more of a lip gloss than a balm, and to really absorb into the tissue of the lips and do healing. This is a great one for chapped lips. And also this is a great one that you can apply to eczema or psoriasis. Rose hips are great for that. So let's see, this is really hard, I can tell. Yeah, that's too hard. So let's do with the beautiful rosehip oil and grapeseed. Let's put that in. Let's go up to 1.5. I never measure, usually I just throw it in there, right? But I'm measuring for you guys. So now we've got, let's see. We had 1/2 cup of beeswax and 1 cup of our oil, rosehip oil. Let's check it. 1/2 cup beeswax, 1 cup of oil. That other one was way too hard. I want it to be a nice gloss for the lips. I'm going to put it on my lips. Actually, that could go a little bit more. So let's go right to the 2 cup. Okay? It's almost 2 cups. So let's say 2 cups. So it'll be a nice gloss. So, I'm not good with that either. 1/2 cup of beeswax and 1.5 cups of your oil. That'll be a perfect gloss. Let's try it. Like I say, usually I just pour, but I want it to go low and, you know, not just pour it in, and actually measure for you and make sure it was right. And that looks like it's going to be perfect. Actually, I'm just going to dip my finger in, and I'm going to put that on my lip. That's a beautiful consistency right there. So we had 1/2 cup of beeswax and 1.5 cups of oil. So now let's pour these before it starts setting. Ooh, I'm always bad with this. Once I get going, I'm a little bit better. Ooh, bad. Bad again. So you get the picture. You would just pour them all in, let them set, and then you would pop them out when they're set, and then you would just put the little cap on it. Bam! You get a beautiful lip glove.